Hi class, this is for Sociology 251. That's Sociology of Religion for the fall semester 2020. And this is a video lecture on Chapter 6 in the textbook, Conversion and Switching. And this is for the week of October 5th to the 9th. And this is a professor in the class, Dr. Martin Laskin. And finally I got around to making a video. I wasn't quite sure how to go about this, how to do this in the best way, but I think I figured this out. And I really hope this video will help you in understanding the chapter that you've read, that's chapter 6, and also in understanding the notes that I sent out, I believe it was on Monday. So, chapter 6, it deals with the process of people converting from one religion to another, or converting from not being very, very committed to a certain religion and then becoming more committed. It also deals with conversion out of a religion, out of a specific religion, or out of religion altogether. A person could have faith and then they so-called lose their faith. It also deals with switching, which is similar to conversion. Switching is going, from one denomination to another. Someone switches, it means maybe they belong to a Presbyterian church and they switch to a Methodist church. There isn't a very, very big conversion involved here. There isn't a very, very big change in beliefs or world outlook or lifestyles. Someone goes from being Christian to a Buddhist. That's a real conversion. Or someone goes from being Muslim and becomes Christian. That's a real conversion to a really different religion, a different lifestyle. Okay, first we have to deal with the idea of cults. That's C-U-L-T-S, cults. And, we hear a lot about cults in the news, in popular media. People are fascinated by what they call cults. And a cult is usually a small group. You have a charismatic leader who kind of runs the thing, and there isn't real organization in the group. Small group, cult, you have a leader, people look up to this charismatic leader and they follow the leader. Anyhow, the term cult is sort of a loaded term. Has a lot of emotion behind it. And when we think of a cult, we think of all kinds of weird things. Animal sacrifices, human sacrifices, who knows what else. When we study these small groups, we can also use the term new religious movements. New religious movements. We could use this term instead of cults. A new religious movement, it's a religious movement that's very different from the already established religions. New religious movements, or NRMs, they break from the traditional religions in society. We have to remember something, that traditional religions that we have, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, in the beginning, these all were considered cults. These were small groups, right? Abraham, founder of Judaism, it was a small group. You had Abraham, you had some of his followers. Christianity, Jesus, very small group. He had his disciples at first. It was considered different from the established religions. Islam, Muhammad, started out very small, eventually became a worldwide religion. So all these religions, we should remember, these major, big, established religions, at one time in the beginning, we could consider them cults. Now, examples today, we have Scientology, let's say, and Wicca, things like this. Sometimes they're considered cults, but at some point they may develop into, major religions with complex organization. In the not-so-distant past, there were religions that were considered cults, but they're not considered cults anymore because they've been around for a while and society is familiar with them and accepting of them. Look, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, Christian Science. These are pretty much, they're sort of gone mainstream in a way. They're considered religions along with the other religions, but not so long ago they were considered cults. Now, we have to say something about how people, there's a certain perception. You hear someone joins a cult, right? So first thing is people often say, this person joined a cult, well, they must have been brainwashed. Interesting, the term brainwashed. Real brainwashing, according to definition, you can only have real brainwashing if someone has total control of the person to be brainwashed. Total control of the basic means to live. In other words, control of food and sleep and all of these things. Has life and death control over someone. If you have life and death control over someone, then you can brainwash that person. But short of this total control over people, you can persuade people, you can put pressure on them, maybe to join a cult, but there's very little brainwashing involved in people joining cults. Yeah, you could say they're really persuaded and this and that, but it's really kind of rare that people it happens, that people are in situations where someone from some cult takes control over people and controls, their actual physical existence and has life and death control over them and then kind of forces them to join a cult. People joining a cult, usually there's something coming from that person that they, in some way, more or less, want to join that cult. Okay, now, how do people switch religions? Why do people switch religions? Why do people convert from one religion to another? Well, one way of looking at this is simply looking at the idea of rational choice theory. Rational choice theory. This is all in the chapter and all in the notes, by the way. So rational choice theory, RCT for short, it stresses economic principles of behavior. Not everyone agrees with this, okay? There's different views on this. But this rational choice model, it looks at human behaviors and human choices and what human beings do in terms of economics. In a way, we go out to buy something, right? You or I. We go to the store, we buy something, and we make an economic decision. What kind of economic decision do we make? You go buy a car, you figure, what is it going to cost me, right? And what benefits is it going to give me? If you figure out that the benefits I'm going to get from this car is equal to or even better than the cost, what it's going to cost me, then you go out and you buy it. Okay? And this is how we live in the economic world, how we buy things. So there's an idea that people use this, in a way, they use this rational choice theory, this economic model, to choose religions. People decide whether they want to go to a new religion or not, or they decide whether they want to stay in the religion that they're currently in, or that they were born with. So people think, how will this new religion benefit me? And what are the costs of joining this religion? And if a person decides that the benefits of joining a new religion, of converting to a religion, are more than what it's going to cost me, then they'll make an economic decision and they will join that religion. Okay. Of course, in dealing with religion, we're not just dealing with economics, with dollars and cents, money things, and material things. Look at it this way. Religion offers spiritual type things, or things that really can't be measured or proven by science. So let's say religion offers someone eternal life, right? Heaven, let's say. heaven, eternal life, resurrection, life after death. This is a benefit of the religion. Providing a person believes in this, this is quite a benefit, can't knock it. Person looks at this religion, might say, well, okay, I believe in this religion, it offers me eternal life, but then what are the costs? This religion also demands, for argument's sake, I stop drinking, I stop taking drugs, I stop gambling, I stop drinking, stop taking drugs, stop gambling, stop engaging in social dancing, stop having sex outside of marriage. All these things, these are the costs. Also, I have to give 10% of my salary to this new religion, and I have to pray 3 times a day, on and on and on and on. The person says, well, these are the costs. Do the benefits outweigh the costs? And then they make their decision. So I hope you get the idea here. This is looking at people as consumers. Interesting. Looking at it this way, it means if people are religious consumers making rational choices as to what the benefits and the costs of religion are, then we have different religions competing with one another in order to get buyers, new members. Okay? Look at the car producers, Subaru, Toyota, Ford, Chrysler, etc. They compete with one another to get buyers. And you can look at religion, in a sense, that in a free society, where you have freedom of religion and you have diversity of religion, different religions, there's competition between religions to get members. And some would say that actually this is good for religion. Just like competition between car makers, for example, helps to produce a better product through competition, then competition between religions can help to build a better religion for people. And this is an interesting idea. Not everybody agrees with this, but it's a very interesting idea. What tends to back this up is some states, countries, have official state religions. You'd be surprised what countries have official state religions. United Kingdom, it's the Anglican Church. Believe it or not, Sweden, one of the least religious countries in the world, has an official church. The Swedish Lutheran Church. Okay? These are official churches, official religions. And they run on tax money and everything. Every citizen there is at least nominally a member of this religion. But in these countries, many people have nothing to do with religion. Could it be that because there's only one religion, one official religion, I didn't mean to say that there's no freedom of religion in the UK or in Sweden. Of course, there's different religions there, but they do have an official religion. Could it be that because of this, there's no real competition to the state religion? Everyone's kind of automatically somehow a tax-paying member to this religion, and this makes for a weaker product. No competition to make it better, and that's why these countries are so irreligious among the population. Look at the United States. One of the great things I feel about our country is the separation of church and state. We never had an official religion in this country, at least since the Constitution. We have tremendous competition between religions, and we are one of the most religious countries in the world compared to other countries. Yes, we're one of the most religious countries in the world. So a state religion, if you have a state religion, it kind of forms a religious monopoly. And may not be beneficial to the health and growth of religion. It could be where you have lots of religions competing for the so-called religious market. It encourages competition, and it makes for a very vibrant, vigorous type situation where religion maintains its importance in the country. Now, sometimes, here, I want you to think of this. Let me give you an example from outside of religion. Two people are in a relationship. Two people. They're in a romantic relationship. And as happens sometimes, a third person comes along. And one of the people in this two-way relationship, this romantic relationship between two people, meets this third person. And the third person looks like a better deal than the person he or she is involved with in the current relationship. Sometimes this third person breaks up the relationship between the two people in the original relationship. Other times, even though a member of this dyad, this two people relationship, looks at the third person, person from the outside, and says, yeah, this person's nicer and better and, all that kind of stuff. But they don't leave. They don't leave the relationship. Why? Well, it could be that the person has a bond, that has invested a lot in the original relationship and is reluctant to leave it. You have the same idea in religious conversion, the idea of religious capital. Someone grows up in a certain religion, they learn the prayers, they learn the songs, they learn the hymns, they learn the myths, they learn all about the religion and all of the rituals, and they may decide that they're going to stick to the religion, even though they may see something better out there, but they've invested too much in the religion that they already have to leave it. Sometimes people convert or switch religions because there's a change in the socioeconomic status. Someone could grow up without much money, let's say lower socioeconomic class, right? And then they become wealthy. They have more money, become wealthier. Because of that, they may switch their religion to another religion that contains other wealthy people like them, or to a religion that justifies the idea of becoming wealthy. Now, when a person converts in one type of conversion, the individual changes from one worldview of religion to another, such as going from Catholic to Buddhist. If you go from Catholic to Buddhist or Buddhist to Catholic, your whole worldview changes. These religions have different worldviews. Or you might go from Catholic to atheist, let's say. It's a big change in worldview. Or you may go from atheist to Protestant. Big change in worldview. Okay, so that's one type of conversion. Another type of conversion is that a person goes to increased commitment in the religion that he or she already belongs to. Let's say a person grows up Muslim, comes from a Muslim family, religion of Islam. And, they're not a very observant Muslim. They don't pray 5 times a day. They don't obey the dietary laws, which means alcohol and pork are forbidden. They don't make the pilgrimage to Mecca. They don't go to the mosque on Fridays for prayers. And, they grew up a Muslim, but they're not very committed to it. And then there's a certain type of conversion. Something happens that the person decides to be a more committed Muslim. Okay? So you see, that's a different type of conversion. It holds true with any religion. You You could picture someone who's born in a Christian family and isn't really committed to that religion, doesn't really practice it so much, and then something happens. They have a born-again experience. They see the light, let's say, and from then on, they have a more close relationship to their religion. In the textbook, there are models of conversion. A lot of different theories about this. It's interesting. If you look on page 136 of the textbook, figure 6.1, you'll see one of the models of conversion that before a person converts, usually he has to go through, he or she, certain things happen to that person. There's predisposing conditions, and take a look at that chart. I think it explains it very well. In addition, often people have conversion experiences at certain points in life, at certain turning points in life. What are important turning points in life? Well, starting college, dropping out of college, finishing your college degree, getting married. All these things are turning points in life, having your first child. So in these turning points in life, often this is the time where a person may convert to a religion. Another thing I want to mention was fascination with cults. Is that a person switches religion, I don't know, Christianity to Judaism, Judaism to Christianity, whatever. Okay, the person's family and friends may be somewhat taken aback, but these major religions, it doesn't really change the lifestyle that much in terms of one day a person is Protestant, let's say, and they switch and they become Catholic, right? Or they become Jewish or whatever. The person still gets up every day, goes to work, wears the usual clothes most everybody wears. It's no, lifestyle isn't that much different. When people join certain groups, like these little new religious movements, sometimes everything changes. They may leave their profession, do something else. They may dress differently, groom themselves differently, and this is what really causes shock among people. People say, "Oh, this person was taken over by a cult," because their behaviors change so much. Okay. In the textbook also, go to page 154, and it deals with what's called apostasy. Apostasy. When people leave religion and don't go to another religion, okay, they just become non-religious. This is the flip side of conversion to religion. And pretty much have the same processes going on here too. And it's interesting, page 154, they try and walk us through this and explain it. So that's going to be it for this video lecture on Chapter 6. I do hope it was helpful. Let me get your feedback on it. So look, what you have to do this week, read the chapter, read the notes, listen to this video, and please get back to me with any feedback or comments or questions. Always glad to deal with this. And hope everyone has a good week. Bye.